And the meeting is live.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Arts, Parks, Health, Education, and Neighborhoods Committee, and is now called to order. Today is Tuesday, January 26, 2021, and the time is 2:03 p.m. Mr. City Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Councilmember Lee,
Present.
Councilmember Bonin,
Bonin present.
and Councilmember Ridley Thomas.
Here.
3 members and a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Espinoza. This is being the first meeting of 2021 for this new committee. Very excited to be the new chair of this committee with my 2 esteemed colleagues. Mr. Clerk, can you give directions on public comment?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Members of the public who would like to offer public comment on the items listed on the agenda should call 1-669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 161-368-1180 and then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for a participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press *9 to request to speak.
Speaker with the last 8408, please press *6 to unmute yourself and then state your name and which items you'd like to speak on. Speaker with the last 4 digits, 8408, please press *6 to unmute yourself and then state your name and which items you would like to speak on.
Yeah, hi, my name is Peter Clune. I'd like to speak on all items in general public comment.
Okay, you'll have 2 minutes to speak on the items and 1 minute for general public comment. You can begin.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so I think, very broadly, and I think this touches on both all the items in front of you guys today and, any items that might come in front of this committee, going forward, is the sort of very pressing issue of, Councilmember John Lee and his involvement with his former boss, Mitch Englander. We just saw former Councilmember Englander sentenced to 14 months in prison and a $15,000 fine. And we all know that John Lee is City Staffer B. We know this because it's undeniable from all the publicly released information. It's been further confirmed recently with the release of an FBI transcript where Mitch Englander specifically mentions John as he is coaching a witness to lie to the FBI about their intention of paying back money that they were given while on a trip to a casino. It is astounding, frankly, that John Lee still sits on this committee or any committee, and that he's honestly even still on this city council. And disappointing that you, his colleagues, have completely failed to speak out in any way to condemn his conduct, to condemn his refusal to publicly acknowledge what we all know.
Speaker, can you please speak on the items? If not, we can move to your general public comment if you like.
Yeah, we can move to general public comment. And that is, Councilmember Lee is his continued presence on this committee, on any committee, on the city council, is honestly an embarrassment and should be embarrassing to Councilmember Bonin, to Councilmember Ridley Thomas, to have to sit there with him, but to not speak out about it is honestly pretty unconscionable. I call on you guys to, say something, do something. We went through this with Weezar for 2 years. I live in CD14. I know what it's like to not have a representative who's, clearly broken the public trust. You guys need to do something about it because everything that you do is tainted by what he has done. And you need to take action. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Speaker with the last 47006, please press star 6 to unmute yourself and then state your name and which items you would like to speak on. Speaker with the last 4 digits, 7006, please press star 6 to unmute yourself and then state your name and which items you would like to speak on, please. Speaker with the phone number with the last digit 7006, are you there? Please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, which items would you like to speak on?
All of the fucking items and general public comment?
Okay, 2 minutes on the items and 1 minute for general public comment starting now.
Yes, and welcome everybody to 2021 and the committee, your favorite committee, arts, parks, rivers, and other issues of the day. But let's just skip to my general comment. I have a message for John Lee, if I may.
Okay, general public comment starting now.
Yes, not one time, 9 times, Federal Judge John F. Walter of the Federal Court sentencing Mitchell Englander mentioned you, John Lee, Staffer B. Staffer B. is John Lee. Yes. So your buddy got 14 months. Yes. So how come you're a city councilman? Let's check with Mark Ridley Monkey and see what he says.
Well, the presumption of innocence attaches to every book that I serve.
That's right. So you know that he's guilty, but you're letting him serve under counsel. So you have an FBI target in charge of millions of taxpayer dollars.
Okay,
So
that
keep up
concludes
the
your
good
time.
work.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
Mr. Chair, that concludes public comment.
All right, thank you. Let's see. So that concludes public comment. I'd like to call certain items for a consent vote, or special items or discussion, or any other order for consideration. Unless there's any objection, I'd like to call item number 3 for consent. Seeing there's no objection, let's see, Mr. Clerk, should we call the roll on that?
Yes, this is for item 3. Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Bonin,
Aye.
and Councilmember Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
3 votes and that item passes.
Okay. That moves us to item number 1. I believe the CLA is going to read this.
Item number 1, that's motion Rodriguez Blumenfeld relative to a new citywide assessment district for youth infrastructure and facility maintenance modeled after the Proposition K program.
And I believe we have a technical amendment that we have to read into the record. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So I'd like to amend the motion to direct the chief legislative analyst and city administrative officer with assistance from the Bureau of Engineering, Recreation and Parks, and city attorney to report. So it's not technical, it's just an amendment. So seeing that amendment, can we take the roll? Unless one of my colleagues would like to speak on the item? Apologize. Councilmember?
A quick question. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the motion just adds to the departments to do the report back. Is that correct?
Correct. I believe the original motion just stated the CLA's office. We're adding the CAO and Bureau of Engineering. So if I could get a second to that motion.
Yeah, I'll second that for sure. And the intent of this is to I assume look at whether or not we go back to the ballot with a son or a daughter of Prop K, right?
Correct.
Well, that seems like a worthwhile thing since Prop K did so much to help provide playgrounds and other stuff to help our kids. So sounds like a good idea. I'd like to see it move forward.
Councilmember Ridley Thomas, do you have any comments on this item?
I think we're good for right now, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman. A few remarks, but I think I can hold for now.
Okay. Mr. Clerk?
Yes, this is for item number 1, to be approved as amended. Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Bonin,
Aye.
and Councilmember Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Yes, that item number 1 passes.
Okay, that brings us to item number 2 on our agenda.
Item 2, Board of Recreation and Parks Commissioners report relative to the various applications for the Proposition 68 statewide park development and community revitalization program 2020 round grant.
So, just a few questions. So, in this $395 million in state funding that's provided for this, is that competitive or is that done by population? Do we get a certain amount here in Los Angeles County? Because I would think that a lot of our census tracts would qualify for this, or is it a competitive basis? Is there someone here that can give us a report on this item? Is there someone here from Rec and Parks? Okay, I don't know if we have anybody from Rec and Parks here. So if we can hold this item for now and we can revisit it later, why don't we move over to, let's see, item number 4.
Item 4, City Attorney Report relative to the fiscal year 2020-21 Proposition 56 California Healthcare, Research, and Prevention Tobacco Tax of 2016 Grant Award. This item has also been referred to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you very much. Do we have someone from the city attorney that can speak to this report? Well, it's a new year. Seems like we're having some problems with people getting back into the flow of things. Is there anybody here from the city attorney's office that can speak to this report?
Move the agenda, Mr. Chair.
I think there's Jeanette Flintoff from the office is there. I think she might be having technical difficulties.
Okay, well, we will move on to the final item.
Agenda, which is item number 4, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, what was that,
Councilman?
Councilman?
Dispose of item number 4. If you wish to dispose of it, I would so move.
That be said?
If that's your pleasure.
Okay, seeing no objection from Councilman Bonin. All right, Mr. Clerk.
And so for item number 4, we will be approving the city attorney. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Lee,
Aye.
Councilmember Bonin,
Aye.
and Councilmember Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Okay, this item is approved.
Okay, item number 5.
Item number 5, LA 4Kids Steering Committee report relative to authorization to release the Prop K 10th funding cycle request for proposals that includes funding from Prop K Health Alternatives to Smoking Trust Fund for fiscal years 2022-23, 2023-24, and 2024-25.
Okay, so is there anyone from Rec and Parks here yet to speak on this item?
Hello, Mr. Chair. This is Blaine Tutton-Wills from the city CAO's office.
Hi, Blaine. Can you speak to this report?
Yes, I can. So this is an authorization we're asking for the council to give for the 10th to release the 10th competitive cycle RFP, which we intend to have it released in next month by BOE. It's if you recall, in the Prop K project, there are two main buckets of competitive funds. There's a Prop K a portion that's restricted, and there's a section of a portion that is unrestricted. For this report, this cycle, we're also adding the health alternative to smoking trust funds for a total of $17.37 million altogether to be released. This this project is going to be we have the proposals due in May of 2021 for all potential candidates. BOE will receive and review and make potential recommendations to the steering committee later in spring of 2021 with the intended final report and assessment to come back to council in May or June of 2022. There are no general fund impacts from this decision. And I'm here to answer your questions. And we also have colleagues from BOE present here as well.
Thank you, Mr. Sutton-Willis. So this is this the final report that we're hearing, or do we have one more after this? This is for the next 3 years?
This is for the next 3 years, and it is time to be connected to the way the program is going to sunset in 26, 27. But we have to still do the analysis of all the funding to make sure that we've captured everything to be sure that this could be the final. We're not fully certain that there could be another one.
So every department or every council office needs to get in the projects. If they want it in the cycle, have to get it in, I guess, starting the RFP released in February, has to get it sometime this year.
We would encourage everyone to submit proposals this year that are related to the funding sources.
Okay. Councilmember Bonin, do you have any questions?
I'm good, thank you.
Councilmember Ridley Thomas?
Move the agenda, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, can you take roll?
Yes, so this is to approve item number 5. Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember Bonin.
Aye.
And Councilmember Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
This item is approved.
Okay, that brings us back to item number 2. Rec and Parks, do we have anybody here from the department that can speak on this? On the Prop 68 grant applications?
Mr. Chair, I wanted to make a couple of remarks with your permission.
I'm sorry, what was that, Councilmember Ridley Thomas?
I'm prepared to make a couple of remarks with your permission.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's fair to say in Los Angeles, inequities continue to persist across neighborhoods. In the quantity and quality of parks and open spaces. Might I say that this has significant implications on the health and well-being of our families and our communities, especially apparent in the midst of COVID-19. So Proposition 68 seeks to address these disparities. While much work lies ahead in our efforts to advance equity, I think we must work collaboratively, Mr. Chair, Mr. Bonin, to submit high-quality applications in the areas of high park need to ensure we receive an equitable share of resources throughout the city of Los Angeles. It seems to me that that is a worthy goal and objective, and I trust that we can begin to meet that more fully. And therefore, I'm supportive of the item as it's before us, Mr. Chair.
All right, I see no reason to hold this in committee. We can move it on to council, and if there's any questions, we can have Rec and Parks answer it there. I think there are just some minor little concerns or questions that we have on that item. So if my colleagues are okay with it, we can take the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember Bonin,
Aye.
and Councilmember Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Item number 2 passes.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other items before us?
No, Mr. Chair, the desk is clear.
All right, seeing that there's no other items, this meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, guys.